All right. Looks like we are live. So, good morning, good afternoon, good evening, everyone. Thanks so much for tuning in. I'm James from the Dora Hacks team, and welcome to the opening ceremony for the Cronos x402 Paytech Hackathon on Dora Hacks. The page is live now. The link will be in the description. You can register. Pre-registration is open for another week until the 11th of December, and then submissions will open from that date until the 23rd of January. So nothing better to be doing with your festive period time. Make sure you're registered as early as possible. You will still be able to register after the 11th of December, anytime during the submission period. But it'd be great if you can register now, and I can see that we've already got 347 builders registered, which is awesome. I'm not going to go through any details for the hackathon itself because today I'm joined by Ed and Leslie. Ed is head of ecosystem at Cronos Labs and Leslie is head of DevRel. So welcome, guys. Really good to have you here. Thanks for joining. I'm going to hand over to Ed for an introduction and a presentation on some of the details for the hackathon. But from everyone at Dora Hacks, we're super excited to be launching this partnership and this one being the first big hackathon that we're doing together recently. So over to you, Ed.
Thanks, James. Hi, everybody. I've got some slides to share with you. Let me just bring those up now. James, can you see those okay?
Looks good.
Fantastic. Hey, everybody, my name's Ed. I have recently joined Cronos Labs as head of ecosystem. Very exciting for me to join the team and start working with all of you guys. I'm going to take you through a couple of slides about Cronos, why I think it's a really exciting place to build, why now in particular is a really exciting time for the network. And then I'll pass over to Leslie, who will tell you a bit more about some of the technical support we can provide during the hackathon and how to get you guys started. So a bit about Cronos. As I'm sure you are all aware, Cronos is a leading blockchain ecosystem, very closely partnered with Crypto.com. We have a general focus in bringing traditional financial assets on chain and the evolution of DeFi into a global on-chain financial ecosystem. That's the vision we want to deliver. This hackathon is a really interesting part of that, looking at several use cases and technologies that could form a core part of that world. And looking at the Cronos universe of chains, we have several chains. There's a proof of stake chain which secures the CRO token. That's like the layer zero, which anchors our main EVM chain, Cronos EVM. And the main point of this slide is just to say that although we have these chains, and if you're looking at a use case that you think is really well suited to ZK-EVM, please focus on that and speak to us about that. But the main focus of this hackathon is the EVM chain and the main apps we have running there. So why is Cronos exciting? Why did I join the team? Why am I really super pumped to be here? And it's because I think Cronos is in such an exciting point in its life. Launched in 2021, it's done a great job of building traction. As you can see here, it's in the top 15 blockchains. It's got a decent amount of TVL. It's got a lot of activity in terms of wallet addresses. So there's some traction there. I think we all are hoping that we'll be able to really drive things forward and increase the traction. And I'm really excited to be doing that. And we've got some information here about how that's going to happen. But it's at this position where we've got enough traction for you guys to be able to deploy good products at meaningful scale, but then also ride the wave of growth. I'll talk more about that in a minute. Secondly, reliability, right? 100% uptime since launch. That's really impressive. Not many chains have managed to do that. And when we're thinking about a world involving more financial use cases, that becomes more and more critical. And finally, and the most important thing, the community Cronos has with the Crow fam. I've already received such a warm welcome. The Crow fam is absolutely brilliant. And it's really the heart of what makes Cronos great. And for you guys as builders to know that you've got a huge number of supportive community members who are going to want to try your products. They're going to want to MVP with you. They're going to give you feedback. They're going to interact with you. I mean, that's just the most perfect thing to have, as an entrepreneur building something innovative. And our community will grow with you as you grow as an app. It's big enough to support you growing, thousands, tens of thousands of users, and we hope to grow it even further over the next couple of years. So, I'm talking about an exciting time for Cronos where we're looking to grow and move ourselves right up to top 3, top 5 ecosystem, and I think we're very well positioned to do that for 3 main reasons. One, with our new focus on real world assets and bringing traditional finance on chain. Infrastructurally, we have a very good foundation for that. Not just from a technology perspective, but also being able to lean on the license and complying knowledge from crypto.com, which is something that most chains won't have an entity like that they can get support from. We are working to bring all different types of financial assets on chain, equities, funds, real estate, debt. So you'll see a bunch of announcements happening over the next few months with that, with those assets coming onto Cronos and being tradable. That's again very interesting opportunities for builders in the space to take advantage of the composability of the ecosystem and think about what that means for new use cases that simply don't exist. And then, with the AI integrations that are available and those that will be coming in the future, again, there's some white space there that's never been explored. Secondly, the partnership with crypto.com and being able to tap into global retail distribution of 150 million users. That's something we haven't historically done to the fullest extent, but we're really exploring the models that we think that could work through, starting with the on-chain wallet and then looking at the broader group of users and all of the other things that means, right, in terms of a close partnership with an organization like crypto.com. And thirdly, then, there's the public market demand and support for the CRO token. I'm sure you've seen some stories in the news around treasury companies and other things that have been launched to create liquidity and stability for CRO, and that's only going to benefit the ecosystem more over the long term. So when I look at this, I see that where we're positioned today versus where we can be in 18 months is very different. I think that executing well against these will really transform and catapult our growth, bringing many, many new users, lots of new liquidity into the ecosystem, lots of innovative products. And for you guys as builders to be building at this early stage of that journey, I think is an incredible opportunity because you have an opportunity to grab some of that white space and then ride the wave of growth, being one of the leading apps in an ecosystem that, continues to grow and 10x's and all of that stuff. So, we're really excited to be part of that journey and support you to do that. Just talking a little bit more about crypto.com before I go into the broader ecosystem and then how we can support you. The other advantages you have being so close to crypto.com with Cronos is, firstly, a very, very efficient, scalable on-off ramp, with many millions of users. That unblocks, a lot of people from coming and using your products, depending on how whether you want to be attracting users and liquidity from outside of crypto or existing users. The crypto.com on-chain wallet, as I mentioned, again, a fantastic product with tens of millions of users, and we work closely with them, and we want to be able to bring us closer together as teams, so you guys can be featured in the app, potentially have tokens listed in the app, this type of thing. We'll work closely to support you guys on that. And then finally, the longer term vision is how do we get the most successful products on Cronos listed on crypto.com main app. And that's obviously an incredible opportunity for everybody. So just touching on one of the other things that makes Cronos great is we've really invested heavily in infrastructure and middleware, focusing on 2 main things. The first is having best in class. So, wherever you look here, you guys really have the best in class tools to support you and to support the growth of your product. And then secondly, redundancy, right? Making sure that there's multiple options so that whatever happens, you guys are covered and we're able to build stuff that lasts and is resilient. And looking at the Cronos ecosystem today, kind of connected to what I was saying earlier, it's in a very exciting place where there are fantastic primitives across the main verticals. And that's great because it means that whatever you guys decide to build, you'll be able to leverage and work with those teams if you want to, if that suits your product. But then also, it's not a saturated ecosystem. There's a lot of space. There's a lot of unexplored use cases, and we're kind of close enough together where we can all collaborate and work together pretty well and pretty effectively if we want to, if something comes along. So again, I think the ecosystem is in a really good and interesting spot for some new builders to come and start exploring what else we can do. So the final section, I'll talk about, how do we at Cronos Lab support you guys? And a lot of this stuff is, the core part of my role that I want to focus on delivering and improve the offerings for. So very open to feedback. If you guys think there's stuff we should be doing that we're not doing, please let me know. And this goes obviously for not just hackathon participants, CrowFam, anyone else listening. Really keen to get everybody's ideas. You can find me on Twitter. Reach out to anybody in the team and they can connect you to me. So three main pillars. The first is strategic support we can provide. Leslie's team can provide fantastic technical support. And then on the marketing side, we're creating new programs around how we can co-market along with ecosystem participants. We know that that's a pain point for new launches and new teams. So we have some good ways of doing that. But also other business strategy, fundraising questions you might have, we're really here to support you there. And then thinking about longer term in terms of token launches and liquidity and all of that stuff, we're developing some programs to support you there too. So any needs you have in these areas, please let us know. We're here to support. For the hyperscaler developer support, we're just trying to use our scale to bring down costs for you guys and get you free stuff. So if you're working with a service provider and it's going to cost some money, it's going to be a part of your budget, let us know. Perhaps we can help. Perhaps we have some offers, and Leslie will also be able to connect you to some of those teams. And finally, this stuff doesn't end at the end of the hackathon. The hackathon is obviously a very exciting sprint to get some things off the ground, to coalesce and crystallize some ideas and deploy some really cool tech. We want to support you guys in the long term. We want to see you guys grow into large, successful protocols, into global names. And we recognize that that involves a lot more investment from us in just a couple of months, right? So obviously the strategic support and hyperscaler support is ongoing, but then also financially, we also have other grant programs that we'll be spending more time working on. So Apex being the kind of next step for you guys once you've launched and you've got a bit of traction, you want to think about how you grow, but then with successive levels of increasing support depending on where you are and what your needs are. So please be reassured, we'll always be here to work with you guys, and that's something we want to do a lot more of. So that's it from me. Just want to reiterate, how excited I am to work with you guys and how excited I am to be part of the Cronos community. The chain has some fantastic traction already with a lot of good scope to growth. We want to work to grow. We want to work on that. We have already some of the best infrastructure middleware partners in the world, including some of the best tooling, some of the best bridges. We recognize bridging can still bring fruit further. We're working on that, but still, a lot of good ones in place. We will support you through our builder programs, marketing partnerships, grant programs, business advice, and please let me know if there's anything else we can provide to help. So thanks again, James, for the opportunity to speak to you guys, and I'll pass you over to Leslie.
Thanks, Ed. That's great. Great to hear about the ways in which Cronos will support the builders. This is what we really want from our partners. Obviously, we have people hacking all day, every day on Dora Hacks, but partnering with teams like Cronos that have so many resources available is really great to see. Leslie, welcome to the stage. Yeah, let's hear a bit more about this hackathon in particular from you.
Absolutely. Yeah, thanks a lot, Owen. And then, yeah, hello, co-fam and builders. Leslie in charge of the DevRel here. So really excited to kick off this Cronos x402 Paytech Hackathon with everyone here. Today, we are launching a 42K prize pool, challenging everyone to redefine AI native agentic on-chain payments from the x402 routes to the RWA pipelines and developer toolings that scales. As James mentioned, 1 week remains until the registration close for the hackathon, which submission officially begins December the 11th. So please join us and also join the 300 plus hackers and teams have already signed up. If you haven't done so yet, head over to the Dora Hacks link page to get started. And all of the development toolkits, etc., that we are mentioning later in the call here will be provided over there as well. So that will be the main page for everyone to interact with the hackathons. So it's perfectly fine to participate as a solo hacker, or you may leverage Dora's platform to team up with the builders around the world and create something very, very impactful. So at its core, this hackathon spotlight 4 tracks as the following. So the first one very directly, that will be the x402 application, and the second one will be the x402 AI Agentic Finance solution. And the third one is Cronos cross Crypto.com ecosystem integration. And the last but not least is the dev toolings and data visualization for x402 on Cronos EVM. And we are here to support you and your team in building the future of agentic payments together on Cronos. So yeah, thanks again to Edward of giving us a very detailed walkthrough on the Cronos side. As a very, very quick recap is that Cronos is one of the fastest and most advanced EVM compatible chain that natively integrate with Crypto.com. And of course, it's 150 million plus users. And on the technical side, our recent double 10x upgrade pushes this even further. So first of all, 10x faster. We have reduced the block time from 6 seconds to currently 0.5 seconds with instant transaction finalization. So which means within 0.5 seconds, your transaction will be completed and also finalized. 10 times cheaper. So transaction fee has been continuously under 1 cent after we reduce the gas price by 10 times. So which putting that together, you can see the sub-second finality at a sub-penny cost. This places Cronos EVM among one of the top 10 fastest public L1 chain, which also makes Cronos EVM one of the perfect chain for DeFi and tokenization interaction and use cases. And now paired with x402 standards, it is one of the perfect hub for agentic apps that handles value and payment autonomously, whether you are building your automated payment flows or building AI-compatible toolings. Cronos EVM and the chains of our Cronos EVM as a chain, and also our DevRel teams equip you with the infrastructure and then support you going from the idea to deployment really quickly. So to supercharge our builders, let's dive into the Cronos development toolkit, which is an open source and also tailor-made for innovation. So starting from our main page, Cronos.org, we will be able to find pretty much everything you need to build a great project, from the foresight to technical documentation, and Cronos EVM development toolkits leveraging Solidity for smart contract, Hi-Hat or Travel or Open Discipline for secure and audited libraries. Everything will just work out of the box, directly support all the developers who has experience working in the EVM ecosystem. So it's very direct, and then you can just leverage us very directly. Of course, sticking to the main theme of this hackathon, under the technical documentation site, docs at Cronos.org, you will find a very comprehensive resources on x402, from the introduction to the backend workflows to APIs and the infrastructure, everything that pretty much you will need to kickstart a x402 project right there. Yeah, and then on the AI, Agentic Finance, and then also Cronos cross Crypto.com ecosystem integration tracks, I strongly looking into what sort of development toolkits that we have already been delivered and also actively developed by the Crypto.com team. For example, the AI Agent SDK, which is a plugin for a plugin and plug-and-go SDK for developer to deploy AI agent and connect the AI agent with Cronos chain, as well as integrating with the x402 payment enable autonomous agent to execute trades, RWA, or other action on Cronos chain. And If we need more market data, we can try the newly released MCP server of Crypto.com exchange to keep your agent and your project up to date with real-time market data. So overall, actually, a quick tip for this hackathon will be focus on linking your project in the x402 manner to Crypto.com and also Cronos ecosystem to build your successful story. So on other resources, we will be running office hour to support your team, but directly communication with our in-house development team. So we will be also running workshop on the X402 and AI agent topics. So stay tuned for the announcement for the workshop. So this is absolutely your area to build the AI agents with a blockchain for payments and DeFi in this hackathon. Yes, so pretty much to sum up, for builders, this X402 tracks and demand has been growing very rapidly. So with Cronos, you're not just coding, you're being part of the story and writing the future story together with the Cronos team and Crypto.com. So this is absolutely a very good chance for projects to grow together with both of us. So sign up today on the DoraHacks main page where we can find all the development toolkits and all the resources on the main page on the DoraHacks side. And of course, don't forget to connect with us via the Telegram channel and Discord channel. So excited to see and support what we are going to build and create. Okay. So I think some of the key date here, as James mentioned, the registration will be now till 11th of December. And so it will be, the build period will starting from 12th of December to 23rd of January in 2006. And then we'll be working on the winners announcement and also the judging afterwards. And then, yeah, I think one very critical part for here is in case if you have any question, feel free to jump into our Telegram support channel so that our team will be able to provide support here. In case if you would need some idea in terms of the project, etc., feel free to go into the channel and talk to us. Okay, that's everything on my side. And back to you, James.
Great. Awesome. Thanks, Leslie. That's a really good introduction to the hackathon. Super exciting to be launching this. As I said before, we've almost got 350 hackers registered already. It's best if you can get registered, as Leslie said, before the 11th of December. However, if you don't manage to register before then, you will still be able to submit and you'll be automatically registered when you submit. Anytime during the submission period. But if possible, make sure you head over to the DoraHacks page now and register for the hackathon so that you're linked to the event. You'll be getting any announcements and updates, which could be really important, such as those workshops that Leslie mentioned. So yeah, great. Big thank you to everyone for tuning in. Huge thanks to Edward and Leslie for presenting today. And I can't wait to see what people build over this period. And I'm hoping that this is the start of many more hackathons between Cronos and DoraHacks. But yeah, thanks everyone.
Thank you very much. Thanks for having us.
All right.
Thank you, James.
Awesome.
Cheers, everybody.
Thank you. Bye-bye.